caught up with some
Yeah.
old friends I haven't talked to in like a year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I had totally forgotten that one of them
Yeah.
had his first son recently.
Welcome, everyone!
Oh.
Welcome to the wonderful game show known as Google Trendy, the game where the internet never ceases to amaze me, for better or for worse. Welcome back to the unoriginal game concept, where two competitors go head-to-head to see who's keeping up with the trends. Let's get started and meet today's guests. First, he is a writer and voice actor helping to develop the upcoming indie animated series Far-Fetched, as well as a noted ALF enthusiast. Give it up for Dave Capdevielle!
And so he told me that like his son has been doing pretty well. And he showed me some cute pictures, and I'm like, that's a good growing boy, and I'm really proud of him.
And she is an animator, artist, voice actor, singer, and co-showrunner of the Postmodern Art Podcast, as well as developing her own indie animated series, The Evil Little Thing. Give it up for TipsyJHearts!
So speaking about that, so I try to sneak in through my own home because I left the keys inside, so I try to put it inside the window.
Okay, you guys can stop the small talk now.
The bit's over? Oh.
Yeah, the bit's over. The bit's over. I'm glad you guys kept up with the bit. That was a really good bit. So I appreciate you both being here. You both are fantastic people, and I cannot wait to see how you guys are going to be doing with today's game. Now, I know the people in the audience are asking if they have not watched the previous 3 or 4 episodes at this point. Post, how exactly do you play this game? I'll tell you. I will give the competitors a prompt at the beginning of the round, and you both will think of terms people will search for on Google. I'll type in the terms, and Google will give me a graph of normalized data on a scale of 0 to 100 of how many people have searched that term over a period of time. Basically, it's going to give me numbers over 30 days, and that's how I'm going to determine your guys' points for that round. The highest peak for that round will be the highest peaks on each of your guys' graph will be the points for that round for you. Whoever has the most points at the end of 5 rounds wins. Plus, to make sure things are fair, I'm obviously going to make sure that the person that has the least points the previous round is going to be the one going first the following round. You'll see that in execution when we actually get the game going. But enough talk. Are you guys ready to play?
I believe so.
I'm ready to kick his ass.
Language, please.
Yeah, watch your fucking mouth. Anyways,
the correct term is punch. You should have said punch his ass. I don't appreciate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Valid. Anyways, how about for this first one, just to figure out who exactly is going to be going first, I'm going to ask you guys a very simple question. I just want to see what you guys are thinking. I'll ask Dave to go first for this one. But Dave,
what?
Just for this first round. For all you know, you could be getting the next round if you're. Again, this round the points do not matter except for whoever has the most points is the one going first for the actual game. This is just to show the people how this game is working. So Dave, what do you think is the most searched tabletop game on Google?
Tabletop game.
Mm-hmm. Or board game, I guess would probably be another good term.
Or board game?
Yep.
Okay. Let's try Monopoly.
Let's go with Monopoly. Monopoly. We're going
because that's what I'm going to have on this game, a Monopoly.
Oh, I like the confidence. Let's go ahead and switch that to the past 30 days so we have a good, range of data. And so far, it seems like you have a lot of interesting goals. I'm wondering why it spiked particularly on June 16th. But regardless, with this in mind, Tipsy, what do you think is the most searched tabletop or board game on Google?
Does Uno count?
You know what?
I think Uno counts. I'd allow that as well.
I'll allow it. Let's go with Uno. With that in mind, Uno. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Surprisingly, Uno did not get the win. It looks like Monopoly is the one that got the win. So if this were the actual points for that game or whatnot, it looks like Dave would have gotten a nice little 100, and Tipsy would have gotten, let's see, just double checking just to be sure. Looks like your peak would have been 78, so that would have been really good for that first round. Just saying. But at least with this in mind, we at least know that Tipsy, you'll be the one going first for this next round. Again, these points do not matter. It's just to figure out who's going first. So let's get to the actual game, shall we? And for,
Yes.
And for this first round, well, I wanted to make it a little bit more, up to date, at least by the time that we're recording. And at the time that we're recording, you both just released a collaboration on a cover song. Now, would you guys like to elaborate a little bit on what exactly this cover song is?
Gladly. So the cover song is called Chow Down, and it's from the Broadway version of The Lion King.
Okay.
Which, fun fact, they're celebrating their 30th anniversary for this end of the week of June.
That's cool. So it's one of those, like, that song in particular, I guess since you're a person that actually loves and appreciated the hyenas, I assume you're the one that wanted to get this thing off the ground and running?
Oh yeah, but it was kind of like it was kind of like unaccidental because the thing was like I wasn't even aware that it was their 30th anniversary this year. I wanted to do it like last year, but of course like stuff happened. But then like this year, like someone told me it was their 30th anniversary, and I was like, what perfect timing. So of course I had to dedicate the song to my comfort characters.
That's absolutely understandable, and if I may say so, you both did a fantastic job with that song. So
it wasn't too far of a stretch to giggle like a maniac into when Tipsy asked me to do it, I was totally on board. I felt bad. It was during a time also where I had a bunch of things going on, but we were able to get it done, and I'm very happy with how it came out. Because doing roles like that is a lot of fun, because you can just kind of go crazy with it amongst really good singing. So,
well, I think you both did a fantastic job with that. All parts were definitely necessary. So with that in mind, since you both seem to be very well proficient with cover songs, not just with this one, but also a fantastic cover song of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space theme song previously, it leads me to ask the question for this first round. Tipsy, what do you think is the most searched cover song on Google? Now, what I mean by cover song, it means that I'm actually going to be searching up like the name of the song and the artist that covered it more than anything else. So like, I'm trying to think of an example that isn't going to be one that can easily give it away. It's not going to be like a parody song, like a Weird Al Yankovic cover or a parody of it. Like, it's a basic one-to-one cover, or not really one-to-one, but like a different reinterpretation.
So like, it would be like the Alien Ant Farm cover of Smooth Criminal, not Michael Jackson.
Exactly. That's a great example.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Tipsy, with this in mind, what do you think is the most searched cover song on Google?
Oh boy, Jesus. You had to drop it on me, huh?
Hey,
I'm interested to see if you do steal my answer, because I have one specifically in mind.
I don't think our brains are that connected to think of the same answer, but I want to steal your answer, but I can't.
Isn't it going first sometimes?
It sucks. It's dookie. So I'm thinking like probably Loser Baby.
Okay. Is there a particular artist that covered that song that you're thinking of?
I don't know the name of the artist, but I sure know where it came from.
See, because I need both the name of the song and the artist itself for this search term.
Poop dookie.
But they're an artist.
The artist. Well, when you say artist, do you mean like celebrity, or do you mean like
the musician or the singer that performed the song?
Okay. Okay, so I'm thinking like Loser Baby with oh God, give me 1 second, because I know the name off the back of my hand.
This is the one time I'll allow if you need to, but keep in mind for the rest of the game, don't be searching up that's cheating at this point. I'll allow it for this one because I know you have one in mind. So,
Ann Pantsu.
Ann Pantsu. Okay, you're going to have to help me spell out that last part, but let's go with Loser Baby, and then what was the last part?
So it's spelled Ann, Ann, and Pantsu. It's like pants and then Sue.
Is that like that?
Yeah.
Okay, and no E in it. It's Ann Pantsu.
That's correct.
All right, I will put that term in. Now, it's going to look low, but that's also compared to Monopoly, so don't freak out just yet. Now, with that in mind, Dave, what do you think is the most searched cover song on Google?
That would be "Hurt" by Johnny Cash, cover of Nine Inch
Oh.
Nails.
That is a good one. That is a really good one. We'll do "Hurt" Johnny Cash as the search term. 3, 2, 1. Let's see what we get. Oh yeah, no, that crushed it. that absolutely.
Damn it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that one. That's a complete utter annihilation.
That's the song that's going through your head right now. It's just "I hurt myself today."
Now, to be fair, I think I could. This isn't part of the game, but I'm betting I could think of a term that can actually beat "Hurt" by Johnny Cash.
Just for fun, I would like to see if you want to put one in.
Oh, I definitely will.
Oh yeah.
Oh
no,
my
you're
God.
gonna win the
Yep.
Houston version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you're gonna
Whitney
win
Houston.
that.
We'll see. Oh, actually, no, surprisingly,
Really?
yeah, Johnny still gets to
Wow.
win. Johnny
Really?
still gets to
Wow.
I mean, I thought I had at least a good shot with the "I Will Always Love You," but I mean, obviously, for people that don't know, obviously, "I Will Love You" was originally by Dolly Parton, but Dolly at this point straight up said, "Yeah, no, that's Whitney's song." But
Wait,
That's it.
I mean, if we're doing celebrities, then technically speak, like, is this songs by the artist that sings it?
like, wait, what do you mean by that?
Because I was thinking it's more like, like people doing a cover of an existing song.
Yeah, that's what all these
That's
are.
what it is.
That's what all these are.
Wait, so "I Will Always Love You" was sung first by Dolly Parton?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was covered by Whitney Houston.
you didn't know
Holy
that?
shit. No.
Yeah, you learn something new every day, huh?
Huh.
And it's funny because Trent Reznor said the same thing about the Johnny Cash "Hurt" cover. That it's like he saw the music video and he said, "Yeah, that's not my song anymore."
It's amazing how different artists can take an opportunity to just make a song that was initially theirs and basically just make it theirs because it has a whole lot more meaning to it depending on who performs it.
Yeah, the way it's performed and what you can do with that song or any song like that.
But I think it's solid to say that for this first round, Dave gets a solid 100, and Tipsy, I hate to say this, but you get a flat 0 for this round.
You know what?
I like your answer. It's very creative.
You know what? It's fine.
Don't worry, this is only the first round. You still have
Round one.
you have 4 more opportunities to bounce back. Okay.
Fine.
But with this, I'm going to take an opportunity to single in on one of our guests for this next round. So, Dave, if I may, tell the audience, tell us about yourself.
Oh gosh. I'm 30 years old and somehow alive.
It's a good start.
No, I've just been wearing a lot of different hats recently for a lot of different indie projects. Like you mentioned Farfetched, co-creating that, but I've also been a writer for Lackadaisy, and I've been working on other like writing stuff like Deep States and Will of Monsters, and doing voice work for like Lackadaisy, Billy Bust Up, Gamecade, Monkey Wrench, I'm just kind of like silently sneaking around helping people with their indie projects. That's kind of my thing. That I'm just like that. Like I look like that guy on the Neighborhood Watch. Just sneaking around helping people get their little cartoons made.
Do you have
So,
the big giant circle X over you as you're helping out these projects?
yeah, that's what I use for like a dating profile, so I know to not get any clicks either. They're just like, avoid this man. He's in your neighborhood.
I will say like genuinely, it's been amazing how much you've been able to be involved with all these other different projects, especially considering the fact that like whenever we first talked on episode 33, I want to say, when you were on the podcast, like you already did a good chunk then, but you've been doing a lot more now. It's really awesome to see like how you've been able to grow since then.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that, man. It's kind of funny because I'm being facetious, obviously, about like the 30 and dying thing, but I do like as far as like on the internet with like animation stuff, I do feel like an old man because I've been doing it for a while, and that's only in that way, and the fact that I answered the previous question with a Johnny Cash answer.
I mean,
Uh,
well, obviously, as we can see, it was not a bad answer.
um, but yeah, that's just also I talk about uh horror movies and old commercials sometimes on Twitter. That's also what I do.
We'll definitely, I'll tell you right now, definitely keep that in mind for possibly one of the later rounds. But
Okay.
I just wanted to say at least real quickly, like I still think back to that first like podcast episode that we had together. Because I like that conversation was one of the like the smoothest, like most regular conversations I've had on the podcast. Like your episode, Singer Pelos, and a couple others off the top of my head are the ones that like when people ask what episode should I start with, those are usually the ones I recommend. So
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah, like again, I know I may have said it before, but thank you initially for taking the time to do that. I really do appreciate it. And in fact, it's thinking back on that first conversation that's actually going to lead me to our next prompt, if I may.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to remember something I said.
Well, don't worry because I'm gonna be the one to remind you because I don't know if you remember, but I remember one of the stories that you told is whenever while you were either in high school or college. I'm gonna bet college. There was a certain day to where you were part of the marching band, and there was a certain group of celebrities that made their way to the football field that day.
Yes, that I still have this memory. Don't worry. It is do you want me to save it or should
That's
I
it.
say
Go
it?
go ahead and say it now because it might lead into the next question, next prompt.
If you want to call them celebrities, if they just even deserve a title such as that, that would be the Duck Dynasty crew. Uh, that we were during a football game that I was part of the marching band of. We had to stand at attention for upwards of 20 minutes while I held a big ass saxophone, and the Duck Dynasty guys were called onto the field just to smile and wave at everybody as we were standing there holding heavy instruments, trying not to collapse in the summer sun. Oh, what a wondrous time that was!
It was an absolutely wondrous time. It's amazing to see just how far trash reality TV. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's trash reality TV shows. It's amazing to see how much they've gotten more of a spotlight and how much more people are really paying attention to it. Which is why for this next question, starting with Tipsy because of your amazing score last round, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, what do you think on Google is the most searched trash reality show?
You
The
might,
Kardashians.
you
Oh,
probably have me with this one.
you just want me to just type in the Kardashians?
Yeah, just type in the Kardashians.
Because I believe that's the yeah. There you go.
Don't they have like several different shows, or is
I
it
know,
just one
I know,
thing?
I know that.
Keeping up with the Kardashians.
Well,
Okay.
keeping up with the Kardashians was their initial one, and I think they ended that one because of like a contract thing or whatnot. But then Hulu recently picked them back up, and they're just now called the Kardashians on there. So, but yeah, okay.
You gotta, you gotta understand, I'm an old man. I remember when trash TV used to be like the Osborne family.
Oh, that was good trash
Like,
TV. Well,
Karen, where's my grape? And like stuff like that. Like,
well, go.
Honestly, like
Sorry.
I kind of grew up with a little bit of trash TV, but it was like, back then trash TV for me was like Jerry Springer. It was
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it was Paris's Hilton's My New BFF.
Do you remember?
I
Do you remember the one that was it like Paris Hilton and what was it Anna Nicole Smith or someone like that? Like they did like The Simple Life or some bullshit like where it's like
Oh
these
yeah.
prissy people are just doing like manual labor for the first time in their lives.
Yeah, and then they just fucked it up for everybody else.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
But right off the bat, at least compared to Hurt by Johnny Cash, you looks like you might have this one, Tipsy. But let's see if Dave can sneak in with a good little trash reality TV show. So, with that in mind, Dave, what do you think is the most searched reality TV show on Google?
I'm trying to think like right now, who is more popular than like the Kardashians in that sort of element? Oh, you know what? I'll try this.
Okay.
The Real Housewives.
Ooh, okay. That actually might be some tough competition because they got like what 20 different.
They have more. I think they have more. There are less Pokemon than Real Housewives shows. Like,
Like just look at these iterations right here. I'm not gonna search on these, but it's like the Real Housewives of New Jersey, the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Potomac?
Yeah, but the Real Housewives of Potomac. Potomac. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But anyways,
That's interesting.
I want to see like the Real Housewives of Atlantis, and they're all just like,
no,
under
that
the
they
water
have
the
that.
whole time.
Oh, Atlantis. I thought you said Atlanta. I'm like, they have an Atlanta one.
No, Atlantis.
Yeah, the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if the Real Housewives gets you a step up over the Kardashians. Do. Nope. The Kardashians got the win.
Yeah.
Fuck
No.
it.
Honestly, they are still super popular.
They really are. I mean, to be fair, like, especially with the star power that Kim alone carries. I mean, anytime she's like dating someone new.
Which one of the sisters was the one who did like that Pepsi commercial that was like
was
cool
Kylie
with
Jenner.
police brutality?
Yeah.
All right, so look at it. Obviously, Tipsy gets the good 100 for that round, putting her on the board. Meanwhile, Dave, the Real Housewives, you do get a solid 53 with that one, so that's not bad. Sorry.
Feel like a real housewife.
Oh, are you now?
I just thought of like the Kardashians because of the recent controversy with the whole Lion King Hollywood Bowl thing.
Wait, what? Huh?
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I don't keep up with this stuff, Tipsy.
Okay, well, long story short, so Northwest performed I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Never went to any of the practices. The dancers had to guide her throughout the entire thing, and then she was wearing Yeezys.
Oh, of course. Okay, well, I'm glad I learned something new today when it comes to that.
You don't remember that part in The Lion King where he's like, "Timon, check out my Yeezys," and he's like,
Oh yeah, my favorite part of Lion King was when Kanye West popped out.
Don't you dare bring his name in this household. But with that round in mind, I think it's time we go to our other guests. So, Tipsy, indulge the audience. Tell us about yourself.
Oh shit, where do I start? Hi. I do a lot.
Yes, you do.
I am a lot, personality wise, but in all seriousness, hi, hello, I'm TipsyJHearts. I am the director of this indie animated R-rated horror show called The Evil Little Thing. I do some arts on the side, some mathematics sometimes. I also do a lot of singing, especially nowadays. And practically I'm just a girl.
Well, I mean, I think just after everything that you just said right there, you're more than just a girl. I mean, to be fair, the same with like what I was saying with Dave. I was thinking back whenever I was getting ready for this, like just how long we've gotten to know each other. Yeah, I've known you since what, episode 20, whenever I asked you to do a thumbnail for Hannah Daigle. That
Yeah.
I still remember like I still remember like you asking or offering to help whenever I need a thumbnail like really quick. I appreciate that. And like could you have imagined that starting off with that we would end up with the friendship that we've had to this day?
Honestly, it's kind of like I don't know what you call it, but it's one of those things where it's like if this situation were to never occur in this timeline, then in some alternate universe we would have never been friends.
Right? Like it's so like I'd like to think we would have been friends, but also like you never know,
Yeah, because it's like one of those like probably I imagine maybe a little more down the line because I knowing me I probably would have discovered you first in some alternate universe. But like honestly, it's kind of wild how long we've been friends and like how like a one thumbnail simple request led to this.
I mean, you've really, like, we've really helped each other a lot through some stuff. You've helped me out a lot when it comes to the podcast, and I've helped you out with stuff with, like, the Evil Little thing. And, I mean, I'm really proud of what we've been able to develop so far and such. But I want to say I will still always remember one of the biggest contributions you have to this podcast, other than helping me run the thing, not into the ground, but helping out with, like, the first little merch drop more than anything else. Like, some of the art designs and such, I still love and cherish those designs to this day.
Oh yeah, I did do those.
Well, I was going to say, honestly, one of the biggest contributions to that merch, it's what's going to lead me into my next question, if I may.
Uh-oh.
So, Tipsy, I don't know, I'm sure you probably remember, obviously, but one of the coolest merch designs you ever did was designing basically the official mascot for the podcast, and that is Mr. Moneybags. That initial Muppet design that you made, I cannot get enough of it. What was your inspiration for Mr. Moneybags again?
Oh, well, I love the Muppets, and then during that time, I was really obsessed with the puppet history. So when I picture Mr. Moneybags, I just imagine a little green guy with a monocle that just happened to have a lot of cash.
And the funny thing is, I never even prompted you to make, like, a Mr. Moneybags thing, because I remember whenever I told you, whenever I asked you to make some merch, I'm like, you have a general sense of how the podcast goes and such. Just make some fun designs that you think would work with the podcast. And whenever I saw Mr. Moneybags, I was immediately blown away. And I'm so glad that Muppets influence is one of the biggest things behind it, because that's what's going to lead into my next question. Now, Dave, you're actually getting the answer first for this one. So if I may, Dave, on Google, what do you think is the most searched Muppet? With the caveat that you cannot search Kermit. That's just an easy giveaway. That's just an easy gimme.
Oh, you suck!
It's an easy gimme, because Dave would easily get the 100 for that one.
All right, let me think about this. Not Kermit.
Not Kermit, but I still need a Muppet from you.
I'm going to go with Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy.
Suck! You stole my answer.
We're going to search up the lovely Miss Piggy. Dang, even Miss Piggy's not as... Miss Piggy deserves to be more popular than the Kardashians. Write that down in history.
You know what?
Miss
Correct.
Piggy was kind of the original Kardashian, if you think about it.
In a way.
Like,
I don't know. I believe Miss Piggy more than I believe the Kardashians, so...
fair. All right,
Fair.
Tipsy, what you got?
Yes. So, Tipsy, with that in mind, aside from Kermit, and obviously beside Miss Piggy, what do you think on Google is the most searched Muppet?
Oh, easy. Elmo.
Oh, yeah, I think you got me there.
You know what?
You know what? I didn't even think about the Sesame Street characters.
You know what? I probably should have added the caveat that it should be mainly Muppets, but you know what? I didn't, so I'll allow you to add
No, that counts. It's Jim Henson.
That's
so.
what I said. I'll allow it. So let's see. Elmo versus Miss Piggy. Oh, Elmo destroyed Miss
Wow.
Piggy. Elmo destroyed
Not
Miss...
even close.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, goodness. This is... Wow. Tipsy came roaring back after that dud in the first round.
Keep up.
So with that, obviously Tipsy gets another solid 100 for that round. Meanwhile, Dave, you got a good double digits. You got 11.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'll take it.
I mean, I don't know what else you were gonna do for that one.
Right.
Oh goodness. Well, I'm tempted because I want to see. I think Elmo's the obvious winner, but I want to see something. What if I answered Big Bird?
Ooh, okay. You know what would have been my second answer?
No, Big Bird would have given more competition, but no, it's still Elmo. What would have been your second answer if that's the case, Tipsy?
Bert and Ernie.
You know what? I would have allowed them to be both. Bert, let's just do...
You can't have one without the other.
I mean, true. No. You picked the good one with Elmo, obviously. If I had disqualified Elmo, it would have been a closer competition. Let me see how it would be like if I had gotten rid of these two.
Oh, very close.
Oh yeah, Bert and Ernie would have gotten the win regardless, but Dave would have had much more than 11 points. So good pick for that round. Good strategy, Tipsy. Uh,
Thanks.
Now, for this next little discussion thing, I want to talk about. Obviously, I brought you both here for a reason, more than anything else. But
Yes.
that's because you two seem to be at least really good friends. At least I'd like to hope so, judging by the fact you guys have done so many cool things like the covers and such. How did you two get to know each other in the first place, just out of curiosity?
I don't remember what we were in some kind of similar circle. I'm pretty sure.
uh, I think it was because like I was in. I wanted to invite you into the podcast, and then no, wait, that can't be. Uh, whoops.
I don't even. I genuinely don't remember how we became friends. It happened, but
It happened.
I mean, regardless,
I-
I was gonna say regardless. I mean, from what I've been able to tell from our interaction, and whatnot.
Oh
you guys are-
wait. Scratch that. I remember now. It just
Okay.
came to me. Um, I well, Nat, you were the one who gifted me the microphone,
Oh right,
which
yep.
is which is how I was able to do all these cover songs in the first place. And my very first cover song was Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So I just basically had the big balls because I remember you, Dave, that you really like Killer Clowns
Is
from
that
Outer
really
Space.
though?
And that,
Like that? You
yeah,
asking me to be a part of it? Was that our first like actual like
yeah, that was our first.
interaction?
Yeah, that was our very first interaction. It was because I asked you to join through an email, and you were
Oh,
just
you know
like,
what? You're right. Yeah, I remember because I was wondering because like that doesn't sound like me because like I'm not usually the one to like uh just become friends right out the gate with somebody through a project. I have to get to know you, but you contacted me through email. That makes sense because then we would have become friends through that. Okay,
Well,
that
there we
makes
go.
sense.
I mean, if nothing else, like the first opportunity you guys both had to really get to connect, "Killer Clowns Through Outer Space," especially that theme song or whatnot. That was I know I've said it before, but honestly, that is still one of my favorite covers you guys have ever done. Especially you, Tipsy. That's one of the best covers I've heard you ever done. I still love
I'm
that to this day.
I it had like and speaking of like checking trends and stuff, it had like recently. I don't know if it was because of last Halloween or it was because of like the game coming out, but it had like a spike in views recently.
It's probably the
Uh,
game. I imagine it had to be the game.
yeah, and it's got like 86,000 views or something.
Goodness.
yeah, it blew up.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't even think I have a single video that's got close to 80,000 views.
The most it's actually kind of funny that the most popular video on my channel is the cover I did with Jacob, that rock cover of Addict.
Right,
Um,
right.
uh,
People still love that
yes,
song. People still cannot get enough of that song.
yeah, they like it.
But what started off as a nice, fun little cover conversation or whatnot soon blossomed into a good friendship, I like to imagine. And I imagine you two have got to know each other fairly well, which I think will help with this next question, with this next prompt. Now, if I remember correctly, Dave, I gotta look back at my score. Dave, I need you to tell me on Google, what do you think is the number one thing, or what do you think is one thing that your opponent absolutely loves? What is the one thing that you think people are looking for on Google that Tipsy loves and cannot get enough of?
Oh,
There's a couple answers I could give here.
Yes.
Hmm. Like, the problem is, like, the easy answer would be to go with, like, because we literally just did the Lion King thing. That'd be an easy answer.
True.
oh yeah.
Is that the answer you want to go with?
Hmm. Is it? Let me think. So I'm trying to think. You know, there's a few things that you have quite a bit of interest in.
There's quite a few.
Um,
Yes, there is.
Especially from what I know from Tipsy, there's quite a few things I could put down for this answer.
And I almost feel like Lion King would be too easy. Like, even though if I just want to go for the win. Um. Hmm. Should I do it? Should I do it, Dave? Do you want to be that petty?
I mean, I will say, keep in mind, Tipsy has to answer what is the one thing that you like. So I don't know if you want to give.
You know what? I will say also I'm falling behind, so I will probably say the Lion King.
All
Yeah.
right, finally get to that that conclusion. The Lion King.
I was trying to be nice, and then I realized no, I've lost the last 2 rounds, so
In decisive fashion, nevertheless. So we'll put in the Lion King. The Lion King. Let's say the Lion King versus Bert and Ernie. That's
chivalry takes a step back to winning the game.
Well, let's see if Tipsy can keep up her winning ways with this next one. Tipsy, with this in mind,
Yes.
what is the one thing that you think people are searching for on Google that Dave loves and cannot get enough of?
Oh boy.
Now, here's why I think you might have trouble with this.
Oh.
Because everything I like is from like 40 years ago.
True.
That's true.
But you know, nostalgia is
but
a
you,
thing.
yeah, but you do know stuff I like. You are aware of that. We've had conversations about media we enjoy.
Oh yes we do. Cause I have to think, cause knowing you, and I know it has to do with the 80s. Cause I know we had this discussion before about like back in the good old days of Hollywood, when 80s horror movies, when they used a lot of like instead of CGI, they used like a lot of like animatronics and like really cool shit.
Yeah, practical effects, heavy stuff.
Practical, yeah. I'm trying to
very
think.
big into that.
Yes, you are. I'm trying to think of one practical effect movie because like there's 2 in mind that I think you really like the most. Do I also want to be petty, or do I?
Here's the thing: I'm gonna say this, and I mean this. I'm gonna to help you out, even though I'm an opponent. If you pick what my like the movie that like I think you're thinking of, there's no way it's gonna win against the Lion King.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tipsy, if you're talking about like, oh, should I be petty as well? You're going up against the Lion King, okay? Like, stiff competition here.
It is a stiff competition. However, I think I do have my answer with this.
And
I want to hear. I'm excited.
Okay. Sorry, I had to actually sit up for this when I was lying down.
Okay.
Let's go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ooh. Okay. All right. That actually probably will do better than the one I was thinking you would pick.
The original version.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna give the general term or whatnot, but. All right, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's give that search. Let's see if it can beat out the Lion King. And the Lions win.
That is actually much higher though than I thought it was gonna be.
Right? Yeah. Honestly,
like closer.
I mean, it was pretty good, pretty stiff competition regardless. I mean, going through the charts. I mean, obviously, Dave, you get a good 100 for the Lion King answer right there. And it looks like
I think she gets like 55. She gets a good bit.
I'm looking through right now. It looks like 58 is the
58,
peak.
yeah.
Unless, hold on, let me look at the end right here. Oh no, 63. 63. Just out of curiosity, what was that other one that you were thinking of answer for this one, Tipsy?
So actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre wasn't any of those 2 answers. It was just something that popped up in my head, but the original The original two answers I had in mind was either The Fly or The Blob.
Oh, hold on. I want to see.
Ooh, okay.
I want to see how these two match up. So we got the Fly. Oh
Why?
wow.
Geez,
The
well, okay, that makes sense because you're just looking up like a fly. So that actually makes sense.
That does make sense. We're starting to understand how Google works. Just out of curiosity, the Blob. Yeah, no, the Blob would not have been, but the Fly, that would have been the runaway victory right there. Oh
I,
goodness.
I I genuinely thought you were gonna say Evil Dead.
You know what? I'll add that one too.
I was thinking about that, but then I also have to think about like the general audience public, where I'm just like, okay, I have to think about something that you like, but I also have to think about what people are curious about online.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Evil Dead compared to The Lion King would not have been a bad answer. It actually would have given you a little more points.
A
Judging, but
little.
1 second, let me get rid of the Blob to make sure it's a little bit more fair. But yeah, no, yeah, Evil Dead would have gotten you a little like, what was it, 68? Yeah, it
No,
would
go to the end there. That's
86.
like 86.
Yeah, that would have been your best competition right there. So not bad. I mean, to be fair, I mean, Evil Dead still talked about a real good bit, surprisingly, to these days. Plus, there was that game that came out not too long ago, so it might still be
There's
in
a
the
game, and then there's been like they're still making movies. So
Yeah, when did that new movie come out, or has it come out yet?
Evil Dead Rise came out a couple of years ago.
Dead right. Okay, that's what I thought. But
Actually, like I think it came out last year, not even a couple of years ago.
that's what I was thinking of. But regardless, for that round, still that was a pretty good round, and we honestly have a really good close competition. I'm gonna do some quick little math real quickly, judging by the scores that we've gotten so far. Normally I wouldn't do this, but honestly, seeing the scores, we got ourselves a really close game.
Yeah, it's me versus Dave. Obviously, it's gonna be a very competition.
We're two cultural busy bees. We're on the forefront of society. We know what's hip.
Okay, so
We know what's
so,
in.
so normally I wouldn't go ahead and divulge this, but there's no way I could not talk about this. Literally, the game is divided by 1 point right now.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
I am dead serious. Dave, you have 264 points. Tipsy has 263 points.
God
Wow. Okay. All right.
It is that. It turns out some of y'all's pettiness really paid out in the end. But
damn.
I'm glad we did get on the discussion when it comes to Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Evil Dead and stuff like that, because that's what's gonna lead into my final prompt. You both are major horror enthusiasts, probably the two biggest ones that I personally know. So it's up to you whoever wants to speak first about it. But what is it about horror that you both love and appreciate?
Dave.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll say I personally, it was the fact that when I was a kid, I was kind of terrified of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the exact opposite of kind of sorry how I am now, where like I love horror and Halloween stuff. Like, and I think it was because I fell in love with kind of like finding the fun in being scared and kind of the comedy in a lot of these like 80s movies, especially that I started to kind of grow fond of it. And also the fact that like horror elicits such a reaction very much, because I'm very much a comedy person as a writer, and horror elicits the same sort of like big reaction that comedy does, which is a way that it affects people. And I think being able to combine those two together it elicits a lot of like cool stuff. And also I don't know, just like I just think like creepy stuff and monsters are just like all these like supernatural things are just they're interesting because they're just a genre of fantasy that is just uh intriguing with how gothic and sort of like you know telling about, like morality through, losing your mortality. I would say because everybody's gonna die, and horror movies are there to remind you that, hey, you know, the way you're gonna die is probably not gonna be as cool as anything you're watching here.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can get that psychology behind it. And Tipsy, what about yourself? What is it about the horror genre that means to you?
Well, when I was just a tiny homunculus, I I watched horror movies. Well, my first one was God, what is that movie where it's like in the middle of nowhere and it's just a bunch of cannibals?
Oh, you're
Um,
thinking of
The Hills Have Eyes.
yes,
The
The Hills
Hills
Have
Have Eyes.
Eyes.
Yeah, I saw that when I was 8. I didn't understand what I was looking at, but I wanted to see more of those things because it was just like it was outside of the element of like like cartoons and stuff like that, and I was just like, you know what, fucked up, but I like this type of storytelling, so I just kept looking at stuff like that. I love horror movies. I never got scared. Um, until I started watching Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That activated my clown phobia a little bit. Uh, but but like the thing that I appreciate about the horror genre is that it's always gonna give you the most unexpected ending. You never like it always keeps you to the edge of your seat, not just from the feeling of like scared or fear for the character or like the absolute fear that the thing might come under your bed or like go into your house or whatever and stuff. It just not only keeps you on your toes, but like it keeps you like it gives you kind of that adrenaline rush and also like the storytelling. You never know what to expect from the ending because it could always be a good ending and then there's a twist, or there's going to be a bad ending but then there's a good ending for somebody else. It's like it's kind of like, and of course I love the creature designs and the monsters and killings, but like besides the point, it's just like it's such a different way of telling a story.
Absolutely. I cannot think of a better way to word it, honestly, especially thinking of, all the different ways that I could tell that story. But for this final prompt, if I may, we're going to look past the stories. I'm going to see how much these horror films actually scarred both of you.
Yeah, okay.
For this last prompt, and Tipsy, you'll be going first for this one.
Yeah, of course I am.
I'm going to need to know, Tipsy, what do you think is the most searched horror franchise on Google? Now, what I mean by franchise is it needs to have more than one installation to it, which means, unfortunately, you cannot answer Killer Clowns from Outer Space because there's only one film of that. And with that,
And that's fair.
That's fair. And also with that in mind, since we already kind of saw the answers, we can't use Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we cannot use Evil Dead because we already saw how they're going to be on the graph. That would just be cheating.
Okay, fair.
So with
I
this,
mean,
so with this in mind, Tipsy, on Google, what do you think is the most searched horror franchise?
mm, God, why don't you just fuck with me? Why don't you just fuck me with a chainsaw by now?
I mean, you already kind of did that for yourself with choosing Texas Chainsaw Massacre and not winning last round, so.
That's fair. Um, God, what is the most search of horror franchise?
I mean, there's plenty of good ones to choose from.
You know, there's there's two answers with this one too, and especially because there's technically a new franchise with this now. Um, you know what? Fuck it. Type down Terrifier.
Terrifier. Okay. It's an interesting choice. Terror. Is there an I after, or is it just
It's an IR.
Terror?
Terrifier.
There's no R after in between I and F.
Yeah.
Is it like that? There it is.
There you go. You got it.
There you go, little
My
sport.
bad. And yeah, that's definitely a franchise because it's given us, Terrifier
There's
2 and 3.
a third one coming out. Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. That's your answer. You locked that one in. And ooh, at least compared to the Lion King, it's surprisingly doing. That would have been a cool one to imagine the collaboration here. Terrifier and the Lion King.
We are not doing that.
So with this in mind, Dave, what do you think is the most searched horror franchise on Google?
I am going to pick up a sleeping bag and swing for the trees and say Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Because I have the addition of that also being a holiday.
That is true. Let's
God damn it. You're right.
Let's see if Friday the 13th can beat Terrifier.
Of course it will.
Oh no, Terrifier wins!
It didn't.
Suck my dick.
Wow, such a humble winner. No, that actually surprised me. I would have thought that Friday the 13th would have gotten that win. Wow, okay. I'm looking through to make sure the highest peak or whatnot. So, Dave, you'll be happy to know that Friday the 13th, the highest peak is a good old 69.
That's fitting.
But Tipsy, I think it's safe to say, you have the win with a good 100 points with Terrifier.
Let's go.
So with that, I'm going to just do a little quick math to give the official number. Because we all know who won based on what I told previous round. But Dave, you ended the game with a cool 333 points. Meanwhile, Tipsy, congratulations, with a score of 363. You are the winner of today's Google Trendy!
Let's fucking go! Let's go!
Although I do want to say, I think I could beat both of your guys' answer for this one.
All right,
Okay.
go on.
It's a 3-letter word.
Oh, it's gonna be Saw, isn't it?
It's all, yeah, look at that! Look at that!
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Well,
Right.
also because you also get, like I said, it's kind of like the Fly, where you get the addition of just, some dad searching for a Coleman table saw or some bullshit.
But you see, that's
Like-
that's how you gotta think with this game. At least I've learned the more people have played or whatnot. Like, yeah, it's like there's the answers that are obvious if you think about specifically that. But we're talking about all of Google. Like, yeah, it can be the horror franchise, but it can also just be a table saw, as long as people are searching it on Google.
You know what would have been my second answer?
What would have been your second answer?
Chucky.
Ooh, one second. I want to see how that competition will go.
Because that's also a name.
Yes,
so
it is. Oh, Chucky. I mean, yeah, Chucky would have gotten the absolute win. I mean, regardless, you still won. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But no, that's a good one. Like I said, congratulations, Tipsy. You are the champion of this edition of Google Trendy. What are you going to do with your winnings?
I am gonna finally take your mini fridge.
Don't take the mini fridge, please.
listen,
Sorry.
Tipsy, it was yeah. I'm proud of you, and I hope that your search engine defaults to Bing permanently.
Oh.
Oh.
Low blow.
You know what? I hope that Google freezes up on you.
I already lost. I don't know what you're firing back for.
I just wanted to feel included.
Fair enough.
You shouldn't feel included. You should feel like the star of the show. Like I said, you won. I think that's all that you need at this point.
I just want.
That I gotta say, that's hilarious. Because in fact, you started off with literally 0 points after that first round. You had a dud for the first round, and you came back to win that whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it usually what happens. I'm the underdog.
Ironically, I'm the loser, baby.
It's a nice little callback right there. But with that, I think that's going to be today's edition of Google Trendy. Thank you both for being the amazing guinea pigs for this edition of it. I think you both put up some great answers, and we had some good fun. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
I agree.
With this in mind, how about we go ahead and plug our pluggables right here at the end? I'll start with the loser first. Dave, where can people find you?
You can basically just Dave Capdevielle on pretty much everything: YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Yeah, just look up that name and you'll find me. Yeah.
All right, and with that in mind, the winner, the champion of today, Tipsy, where can people find you?
Well, you can also find me everywhere with the same username, TipsyJHearts, on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky, Any Sky, whatever, man.
I love that synergy for both of you at the end of the day. And as for me, well, you guys are hopefully watching this. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe wherever you can. This has been a fun time. Thank you both for being wonderful competitors for today's game. And with that, good night, everybody!
Goodbye.